This is in chapter 92, Tzaddik Beis, and it is law number 4. So let me just read it to you in English, and we'll end the class. We'll just spend 5 minutes on this law. Law number Daled. Lo amru chaticha atzunasa nevela ela b'basar v'chalav. We did not say this law of a piece itself becomes totally forbidden except in milk and meat. Avalo b'shari surim. Kagon kazayis chaylev shenafel b'chatir. I think we did this actually. Chatir ve'en bo shishim lebatlo v'neso v'achakach bishlo v'macheret ein tzorich el shishim kadei kazayis chaylev. Va'az afilu v'chaticha atzmo chozeres liot muteres. Okay, again, you have a big piece of meat that's 50 ounces big, and there falls on this big piece of meat 1 ounce of chaylev. Forget a chaylev, okay, shrimp. 1 ounce of shrimp falls on a piece of boiling hot meat that's 50 ounces big. And that we did this. We sure we did it. And that piece falls into a big pot of meat cholent. Right? How much meat has to be in that cholent for it to be permissible? So we say we have to have 60 against what? Against that shrimp juice that fell on. How much shrimp juice fell on? 1 ounce. So therefore we have to have 60 against the 1 ounce of shrimp juice. That original piece of meat was 50 ounces. So all we need is 10 more ounces and the whole cholent is permissible. But let's say milk fell on that piece of meat. If milk fell on that piece of meat, then we say that that piece of meat becomes totally 100% isser. And now if that piece of meat falls into a pot of meat, you have to have 60 times as much meat against that whole 50-ounce piece of meat. So you have to have at least 3,000 ounces of meat. Really 3,060 because you have the milk also. Now the Ramah, Rab Moshe Islis, says that same law, namely the whole piece becomes forbidden, applies also if shrimp juice falls on it. That's what the Ramah says. So 1 ounce of shrimp juice that falls on a piece of meat or falls on a potato or whatever, if it's boiling hot, then that piece of meat or potato, if there's not 60 in that piece of meat or potato, the whole thing becomes 1 unit of big isser. And now if that falls into something else, you have to have 60 against the whole entire potato or against the whole entire piece of meat. That's the argument between the Ramah and the Mechaber in Tzaddik Beis. We talked about this. I remember now we did. God bless you all. See you tomorrow morning, 8:15.
I've got a fast question. You have 1 ounce of shrimp, and you need 60 ounces of something else to nullify it, right?
Right. Yeah.
You only have 50 ounces. Can you add another 10 ounces to the 50?
Oh, that
60?
Very good. Very good question. That is called mevatel isur l'chadchila. You're not allowed to do that on purpose. You cannot do that on purpose. Some say, according to the Mechaber, that if it fell in, not according to the Ramah, for sure not, because according to the Ramah, as soon as that shrimp juice fell into, let's say, potato soup, then the whole thing, if there's not 60, the whole thing becomes forbidden, and that's it. But according to the Mechaber, there's just 1 ounce of shrimp juice inside of, let's say, 50 ounces of potato soup. It's just floating around in there. The potato soup is essentially permissible. There's just not enough of it to negate the taste. So if it fell in, some people will say it's okay, you can add on. If it fell in already, in other words, you can't throw it in intentionally and then pull it. That's according to the Mechaber. But we say not. Some people say if it's only Isser Midrabanan, if it's only an Isser from the rabbis, and it fell in accidentally, then you can add on. But generally speaking, that's called Mavatal Isser L'Chadchila. You cannot negate an Isser intentionally. And I'll give you even a better case. Let's take a case where you take shrimp juice and you intentionally throw it into a pot of kosher cholent that there's more than 60. More than 60. You have 1 ounce of shrimp juice and you throw it into 100 ounces of kosher meat. What's wrong with that? It's forbidden. It's permissible. There's no taste of shrimp anymore. So you can't do it because it's a mavatal isser l'chadchila. You're not allowed to negate any isser with your hands. You can't do it. And that applies to even if it's an isser, let's say that's nosen tam livgam. For instance, you cooked 1 ounce of shrimp in a big pot and you left that pot for a day, 2 days. Now the taste that's in that wall, that is noten tam livgam. And if by accident you cook in that pot even less than 60, it's permissible because there's noten tam livgam. Nevertheless, l'chadchila, you are not allowed to cook in that pot. Not even 60 you're not allowed to cook in that pot. If it was less than 60, it would be permissible. More than 60 for sure, but you're not allowed to use that pot. You cannot mavatal an isser of any sort intentionally. So good idea. You're not the first to thought about it, but don't do it. And if you do it, don't tell them that I told you to do it because I didn't. Okay, my friends, God bless you all. See you